Hi everybody. Just thought I would do this video as I did say I would do them. I know it's been it's been a while since I uploaded the last one, and the last one being my first. So yeah, I'm not doing very well on the video front. However, there's been quite a lot of things going on in, I think, the past month maybe, that it's since that video came out. And what did I say in that video? Obviously I was going to be competing Alf again, as I only had him and Harry at the time, and my plan was to compete him and so forth. Anyway, so since then there's been some good bits and some very sad bad bits, which I don't want to dwell on, but it has been very sad. Unfortunately, my lovely chestnut horse, Harry, had to be put down a few days ago due to a reoccurring problem, a lameness. He had hind suspensory problems, and unfortunately they weren't getting any better, and he had actually started to compensate on his front suspensory, which had become damaged too, and sadly he wasn't going to stand up to hard work. So sadly I had to make that very, very difficult decision to put him down, which was awful because he was a really beautiful horse. He was a lovely horse, very kind horse. And it's never easy at all making those decisions. However, you've got to do right by the horse, and like, unfortunately he couldn't just be turned out. I'd already given him an extra month just to see if he would get better in the field, and unfortunately he was still lame, and when I took him back to the vets there'd been no improvement. So sadly that was the decision that had to be made and right for the horse. And of course, like I say, it's very, very disappointing. These things are awful. It's horrible to think about. Thankfully, I've not had to do that too many times in my life, but it's certainly not easy, put it that way. But at least now I know that he's pain-free and he is at rest. So I just wanted to put that out of the way because I don't like talking about it. It's very, very upsetting because I did have obviously some very high hopes for him. And like I say, he was a really lovely horse. So yeah, that was that. So that was awful. So that lameness had started again probably very shortly after that video I released. So I've only been riding Alf in this time, and he's been going brilliantly. If you hear the rain, it's actually finally started raining after months and months of no rain, so I'm quite relieved for it. But anyway, yes, Alf has been going very, very well. He's 16 now, and he was retired, but now he's not retired. And he's going really well. He's loving all the attention. He's going great. I took him to Staffordshire County Show, I think a few weeks ago, for his first Hoys qualifier since he competed at Hoys in 2021. And he jumped a really lovely clear and was third in some really top company. So I was very, very happy about that, and so was he. We had a lovely day out. And then last week we went to Bramham, and he's never been to Bramham before, so that was very nice. And he jumped another lovely clear, but sadly he wasn't placed, which I didn't tell him about. But it's just one of those things, never mind. There were some very nice horses in the class, and just wasn't for the judge this time. But that's fine. I won't tell him if you won't, because we all know that I know that he is the best, and he always will be. But the main thing is that he's out there enjoying himself, going really well, looking amazing and feeling great. So that's fantastic. His next plan is to go to the Royal Highland Show on Saturday, and he's this time competing in the intermediate workers. The previous 2 shows he's been competing in the horse workers. So we're going to do that. And like I say, he's been going very well. We've been going to the beach. I even rode him for the very first time in the 12 years I've had him bareback. And I did worry that he was going to buck me off, because he's a very, very sensitive horse. And I sat on him in the stable once. God, it would be years and years ago, like probably 8 years ago, and he spun round and round and round, and I had to dive off. So when I did that at the beach, I was a little dubious. Anyway, he was absolutely fine. He loved it, and we had a lovely time in the sea, which was great. So we'll probably be going back again before the Highland. And what else have I been doing with him? That's about it, really. I've just the main thing is keeping him fit. He doesn't need to be over jumped. He probably jumps like once a week and then goes to the show. But other than that, he hacks out. He canters through the field, doing lots of fitting work with him, really. But that's that. So that's what I've been doing with him. I've got my lovely mare Diana home, Kildalton Heiress. Unfortunately, she lost her foal this year. It wasn't my foal. I'd loaned her out to somebody, and unfortunately it didn't work out for them in the end. There was nothing wrong with her, and thankfully she was absolutely fine. It was just one of those very unfortunate things. So I've been trying to get her in foal, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. I don't know why. It's just one of those things, sadly. But I'm not going to give up. I planned on doing embryo transfer with her so that I could hopefully have 2 foals run together. However, I think it might be a bit too late now for the embryo transfer. So we're thinking about just trying to get her in foal and just leave it at that. But we'll see. I'll have to speak to my vet and see what she says. But I think I might just have to try and just with her now. Anyway, so that's that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, 3rd time lucky, she's going to go into foal. And what else has happened? Let's think. Oh gosh, yeah. So on top of all of that, the reason I haven't really uploaded any videos, obviously that's happened, but also I was planning on like introducing you to the horses, but unfortunately Scully got really, really bad laminitis, like severe laminitis, and he's actually been at my vet's for over 3 weeks. It was really, really touch and go whether he was going to survive, basically, because he's such a big, heavier horse. All that pressure in their feet, it's much more difficult for them to get over laminitis because they're not able to get the weight off their feet. So that has been a horrendous stress. So that's again why I haven't uploaded a video. It's been horrendous, and it was very much touch and go whether he was going to survive. But thankfully, like I can thankfully say, he has survived, and touch wood, he is on the road to recovery. He's on a lot less pain medication now. He's still not like totally out of the woods, but he's not in critical condition. I mean, I've never had a horse get laminitis ever in the time we've had horses, and of course, I mean, obviously all of them mean the world to me, but of course it would be him that had to get it. He's been roughed off for an injury he had in the winter, and me thinking I'm doing the right thing and letting him have the summer off in the field to recover, he's unfortunately eaten too much grass and got laminitis. And literally it was within a day. Like the day before he was absolutely fine, galloping, trotting around the field, no problem, and then literally the day after he couldn't move. It was horrendous. So I just want to say a big thank you to Hambleton Equine for basically saving his life. They've done an amazing job looking after him. He's now got heart bar shoes on, and he's on a very strict diet. So he's on, I think he's on 1.2% of his body weight, which equates to just under 8 kilograms of forage he's allowed a day. which has to be soaked hay, split into 4 hay nets. So it's like 2 kilograms of 4 hay nets a day, which is just, like I say, it's just crazy. But I suppose he's always been fed like a laminitic pony, to be fair, because he's been a good doer, and we've always struggled to keep the weight down on him when he's been competing. But of course, like being roughed off, I never even thought that that would possibly happen. And I was thinking, you know, he's getting a bit fat, I should bring him back, and unfortunately I was a bit too late, and obviously he got the laminitis. So that's been a huge stress. I had no idea how that was going to turn out, but thankfully, like I say, touch wood, he's better and he's at home now. However, he's not home for long, because we're actually sending him and my young horse, Remus, to a swimming pool, and they're going to stay there for 2 weeks to lose some weight, because even though Scully's been on that like calorie deficit, he's actually lost no weight at all, which is a bit odd. But it's probably because he's such a good doer and he's not doing any exercise. So the swimming should hopefully be very good to get him to lose the weight, but he's not got any strain on his legs. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get some videos of that and see what it's like. I've never had a horse swam before, but I've looked into it. It seems like a really great place, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's going to help him lose the weight. And the young horse, he's going because he is rather fat, and I would like to get his weight right down before he starts any work. He's had all this year off just to mature, really, because he's such a big horse. I mean, he must be 17.2 now. He's pure Irish draft. He won at the Irish Draft Championships last year. He won the Morben Hall 2 and 3 year old class, which was great. And then he's done nothing since then, because, like I say, he's very big. He was broken in September, and then he's just been turned away. So before he starts any work, I want to get the fatty nice and slim. But that's where I'm at the moment. So I've only got Alf, who I'm riding and competing, and then the rest of them are still turned away. So Albus and Paddy, they're out in the field still, they're happy. And then I've got Scully at home now, and Remus, but they're both going to go to get nice and fit, fingers crossed. So I'll get plenty of video footage of that, hopefully, because I think that'll be quite interesting. And hopefully I can tell you how much weight they've lost as well, which will also be quite interesting. So that's where I'm at. It's been rubbish, but it's also been good. And I'm just now got to look forward, and fingers crossed things are going to turn around and we're going to have some nice things to talk about. I don't want to do miserable, boring, well, not boring, but just miserable, sad videos. That's the last thing I want to do. I think now I've got this out the way, and I've told you about the unfortunate, sad things that have gone on. I can now look forward and do some interesting videos for you all. My first thing I'm thinking about doing is like turnout for a working hunter. So how I present my working hunters, what I use tack wise and why I use it. And then also I suppose I could do some video of me at the Royal Highland Show this week, because that is one of my favourite shows. So that's where I'm at, and I think I'll leave it there. I don't want the video to be too long, but I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't done already, like and subscribe. I think it helps. So I hear. And then I'll get some more videos out, and I would hopefully going to do some good educational things. And it's my opinion. You can either listen to it or not. I don't mind. But just this is the way I do things. So anyway, that's the plan. And hopefully you like it. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.